Hi guys, welcome to Foxfire Tarot. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to do this earlier in December, at the end of December. There's a lot going on. I'm still kind of recovering, if you know what I mean. So yes, I would like to just jump right into 2022 predictions by moi. And let me just explain. So I sit down and I meditate a little bit and I think about all the things that happened in 2021 and I make an assumption based on what the outcomes of those choices made by various individuals around the world, political, um, environmental, just energy in terms of what's happening. So then I predict in my space thinking, okay, well, what could possibly happen this year? What do I feel is going to come out into 2022 to bring us more truth? Because 2022 is the year of new beginnings and letting go of the old. So I feel like a lot of truth will come out, a lot of information will come out, and so then I concentrate on that. So this is what I came up with. Okay, so there's a big shift this year. You probably felt it in January. It's very stale air, very stale energy, and then it boom changed, and that was after the new moon. It was a new paradigm shift on January 14th. I don't know if any of you had felt it, but it was very intense. And from the January 2nd new moon, well, I think the January 14th moon was, um, wait now, was it the wolf moon? I feel like it was the wolf moon, which is really cool because that's a neat moon. But anyways, yeah, so after January 2nd, um, I've been looking into my understanding of the situation we're in the pandemic. So let's start there. After January 6th came and went, I feel like a lot of us had the energy to set positive goals. We meditated, we put down on paper what we wanted to happen this year, and we sort of left behind what no longer served us, and we have no regrets of those decisions. So we closed doors, we opened up the universe to bring in whatever's meant to be for us 2022. So I feel like that was a strong energy for the beginning of January. Now we're into the end of January, and I feel like a lot of us have feel that big shift happening, right? So let's just jump into some things I thought about and I feel like might come into fruition. So I feel like there's going to be big internal changes coming in 2022, now that we're in 2022. There's going to be more social unrest, which is going to be challenged by acts of unity. So people are going to come together with a mindset of we've had enough of this or we don't approve of that. Um, and there's going to be some challenges there. We've already seen that sort of come through with the Ukraine situation with Russia, and people are just sort of really worried about that politically, but I'll get to that later. That's just an example. And I think a lot of us are going to feel divided between vaccinated and unvaccinated people. I think that the government in every country is going to unite together and say, okay, let's make all this mandatory because we've had enough of this. Like, we can't, this is going to be the new norm. We have to put things in place. And, if you're not vaccinated, you can't travel. If you're not vaccinated, you won't be able to work. And we're already seeing a lot of these things happening. So, besides that, we don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want YouTube to shut me down because it's a hot topic. So we'll leave that where it is. But I do feel that there's going to be a lot of confusion and doubt. It may set in, and it may have already set in basically. But be careful because a lot of mistakes can be made when we're feeling uncertain about things. And we just want to make sure that that's not the case, okay? So let's see. I feel like a lot of that came from the Lilith Black Moon, which causes a lot of doubt around the world. So we're seeing that in January right now. And this is an act on and reaction event. So things that are going to happen in 2022 is going to be based on actions that happen and reactions, obviously. But they're going to be things that how do I explain this? There's going to be things that come out into the open that people are going to be like, I don't know if this is like legitimately honest, because why didn't they just say this a long time ago? Why are they finding it now? Why are things coming out now? So there's going to be a doubt on basically information that's going to be released. Okay, so just keep an eye on that, and don't feel triggered, because people are going to feel triggered about these things, and then that's when unnecessary accidents can happen. So just be, like, you might say something the wrong way or be taken the wrong way. So just be mindful of your environment and what you do or say this year. Okay, so the first vision I had after meditating for 2022 was that. So I seen a lot of flowers, thousands and thousands of flowers. It's going to be a global event, either a wedding or a funeral, but I feel like it's more of a funeral, and I hope it's not the queen. But I seen the crown come into my mind, but definitely royalty. There's a royal thing happening. Now I know this thing with Prince Andrew's already commenced, but it's not that. It's something else. It's something directly related with the queen, okay? And I don't know if it's going to be the exchange of power, or God forbid something else should happen. But I do feel like on a grand scale. So like, and if it's not the queen, I feel like it might be a big celebrity as well. Like we've seen Betty White pass, and Bob Saget pass, and a couple of other really great actors and actresses and musicians and directors and things like that. So I feel like that started off the year with an idea of what's going to come in 2022. So it's all about release, and a lot of people are just going to move forward knowing that their path has been completed. Okay. Now, vision 2 was basically another COVID-like pandemic. I feel like is going to come in, but don't worry, because it will end at the end of the year. Things will loosen up in 2023, and we'll have a lot more freedoms, and information will be given to us before the end of this year about COVID-19. We're already seeing that happening with, information coming in about the strains and the different aspects of how it affects us and for how long. And I know the hospitals around the world are very, very, very overwhelmed and things like that. But I do feel that will fade out. Okay, so that's interesting, but it will be short-lived. So another one will come in, but it will be short-lived, and we're seeing that with the Delta. So it could be the Delta. Okay, but I do feel like there's still something else separate from COVID-19, another lane, if you will, of a virus that may be released. And I feel like it's to do with food. I feel like it's to do with consumption. Like I had this vision of like vegetation, or like cattle again. So I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen something like, mad cow disease come back, the bird flu come back, things like something like that, that's going to affect the ability to give and transfer foods. There may be a shortage of food starting towards the middle to the end of this year, but don't panic, because I feel like that will ease out as well. And this is going to last till 2023. There's also going to be travel restrictions loosened, okay, which brings another wave, I feel like, in that particular time frame. So that might be what it is. In 2023, people will have more freedoms again. So again, this year is about releasing. So don't be waiting for things to kind of tie up right now. It's going to be a little bit longer, okay? Vision number 3. The 2022 Senate race in the U.S. Okay, so I follow the American politics. I follow the British politics. I follow the Canadian politics, and I'm not a political person. I don't have a political science degree. I am still learning, like all the rest of you, what happens in these circumstances when one says one thing, another says this, and whatever. But this is to do with public appearances, and we've already seen this happen with Biden. We've already seen it happen with Trump. We're seeing it with Boris. Okay, so this is coming in now. So this is going to be an interesting timeline coming through now with people in political positions. Okay, either resigning, stepping down, saying, oh, medical reasons. For example, take Biden. He could possibly be asked to step down, and they say he's got medical condition. He may not have a medical condition, but they just want him out. Okay, and a good example of that is, with the Ukraine-Russia situation right now. So keep an eye on that, folks. I think that's really important to the potential that's there. There's a lot of chit chat about Michelle Obama running and Candace Owens running, and like, and Trump obviously will run if he gets through this January 6th situation with the Capitol Hill. But I don't think that I feel like he's going to come out of that unscathed. I mean, there may be a slap on the wrist here or there, but I feel like he's going to be able to still pursue the political run. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. But I do feel there's going to be a female presence in the American race. I can't say for certain. I don't know who it is, but I feel like it's a white woman and she is of African descent or Ethiopian descent or somebody in the middle, like it will not be a white Caucasian person. It could even be Spanish or Cuban, but I do feel like somebody's coming in that's very diverse and interesting and very smart and very intelligent, and this woman will be a vice president. I don't think she'll get president, but she will be a vice president. So for example, if Michelle Obama runs or Candace Owens runs, as an example of two women who are very politically powerful right now, and also there's Kamala Harris, I think that there'll be some interesting things happening there. So keep an eye for that. Whew, okay, I'm going to take a drink of my tea real quick. All right, vision number 4. So I don't know if you all are aware, but there's a very, very huge water shortage around the world. It's not advertised. It's not put on the media, but there's a big water shortage around the world happening, and I feel like that water supply crisis is going to bring the world to its knees in this year. I think there's going to be a lot of shift from environmental perspective to that, and really zone in on that. Okay, that focus will shift to water and food, and again, the food shortage situation. There might be some famines in certain areas of the world, and again, that virus in the foods. I kept seeing virus in the foods, infected, like I said, infected meat or wheat or grain or something like that. That will really, really challenge the economy. Now, I know we've already seen a lot of inflation in food, and certain things are much more expensive, and I feel like that's a trickle effect that's already been happening, but we're just not going to know about it until a few months into the year. Okay, so keep an eye for that. Okay, so here's what I call my obvious predictions. So, asteroids are coming and going, and, we're going to have another asteroid scare. There's going to be coming, there's one actually focused on coming past our Earth right now. And, of course, more earthquakes, more fires, and drought, things like that. Those are the obvious things that are happening around the world. But this asteroid thing's going to scare us a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it is something that they're keeping an eye on. Okay, NASA and all those groups that are creating rockets to shoot things out of the space area and things like that. That's going to be something to look for. Fifth vision. So, okay, I thought about the political thing with respect to potential wars and aggression and things like that, and I feel like. So this is what I wrote down. This was in December I wrote this, so please keep this in mind. I wrote another scare of a war brought on by some sort of group within Russia, US, and China. There's going to be some kind of sneaky involvement going on here, and we already are seeing that with Russia and Ukraine currently. And now Canada is stepping in, the US is sort of teeter-tottering, and I feel like other countries, the United Nations are stepping in. So that's one thing coming to fruition already. Russia's just been waiting for its opportunity, and I feel like Ukraine would give them a very big advantage politically, and that's why they don't want Russia in Ukraine. So I feel like that's a big thing that's going to happen throughout this year. And China's going to get involved. That's what I feel like. China's going to get involved in this situation and perhaps support Russia. Okay, but the conflict does get resolved. But it's just a power play for control, right? And it all has to do with U.S. trade by China trade war, things like that, control of borders, things like that. Russia comes out with sort of a nuclear threat as well towards the middle to end of this year, but it just goes away. However, I felt also that if Trump runs for president, that could resolve Russia and US relations because Russia and, well, Putin and Trump get along really well. And I feel like that could be something that could be worked out. Now, if Trump doesn't get into office, there could be a lot more to come with Russia and China. Okay, but however, a war with China begins also if Trump gets in position. So here's the thing, this is what I was thinking in my head. Like, if Trump comes in and takes over this election in the US over the next few years, he gets into power, we're good with Russia, but we're not good with China. And do you know what I'm saying? Vice versa. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword with him. And a lot of people don't want him in. I have no comments on it. I stay out of it. I just think that that's something to keep an eye on. He's not going away. Okay. All right, let's flip to the next one. Trade obstacles. Yeah, so we're already seeing a lot of that right now. Shortages, things like that with China, U.S. relations again. And again, that's going to end in a threat against the United States, of course, and things like that. Now, depending on the elected president, that could increase travel restrictions in the United States, and threats to China will loom, but it will be kept at bay. So don't worry about that too much. Excuse me, because it's inevitable, and that's going to happen towards the very end of 2022, entering into 2023. Okay. Now, I feel like there's also going now on the tech side of the world. I feel like there's going to be another cyber attack on the U.S. And possibly Canada. I feel like it's going to have to do with the fact that, and I'm just getting this goosebump vibe right now about Canada getting involved with the Russian-Ukraine situation. China, I feel like, will come in and back Russia, and some sort of cyber thing will happen, like to show their power, because they have power, where this internet tech 5G thing, right? I mean, it's just they're going to say like, okay, I'm going to shut things down for a bit, boot it back up, because we can, that kind of threat, not a long-term threat, not a big to-do, not a, I'm going to hack into this and take this information. It's going to be just like a little, kind of like sending a rocket up into this, into an airfield that they're not supposed to, like Korea or Russia right now, by having their, missiles and things on the border. So it's kind of like a threat like that. It's just like a hey, like, let's all chill out here because this is what could happen threat, but it won't be long lasting. That's just an idea. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's what I felt in that moment. I feel also that it's very political to say this, but I feel like Germany's gonna something this year with Germany. I kept seeing like the environmental savior, like Germany's going to step in with some like fantastic invention or some sort of, like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, some sort of involvement with environmental factors. It could be to do with water, could be to do with the CO, it could be to do with weather. Something's going to be brought to the surf, like brought out into the open, about how they can contribute to save the planet, and they're going to come out being kind of like a big hero in the United Nations, and they might be an advocate, above the rest of everyone in the global scheme of things environmentally. So, and I don't know why Germany. I just feel like it's going to come from there. They're going to try to redeem their country based on past mistakes. Okay, that's all I heard. Now, vision number 6. Okay, so this is cool stuff. This is my wackadoodle stuff that I think of, and I think that because of a lot of the science right now happening with physics and experimental things with CERN and all this information that's coming out, that is changing the way that this particular topic is discussed, is going to come into a conversation that makes it very, how do I put this, accepted. Okay, it's going to be very accepted. It won't be thought of as kooky or a conspiracy theory. It will come out as, wow, like this is what's happening and this is the real deal here. So what I thought of was, my first thought would be time travel. So I feel like there is a possible theory that will be accepted by scientific communities. It's going to be a huge change in the way that physics goes into 2023. So it's going to be towards the end of the year that a huge breakthrough is going to come. And there's going to be an environment exposed by CERN. So this environment is going to be because of an experiment that is done. And this experiment is going to, like, they're going to admit, or the information could be leaked about what they're working on over there. And I think that they may have discovered that this parallel universe thing, that they've, the string theory and everything, that they've, uncovered that dimension. And and I think that on a particle level, I'm not saying they've gone over there and they can, we can see the other side of things, but on a particle level and on an atomic level, physics, they're going to say, yeah, like, we definitely live in a parallel universe. Like, we have a multiple universe theory that exists. We know that exists, and we have proof of that because we've done this experiment and something came out that is going to be interesting to learn about in the middle to end of this year. Okay, something to think about. And I also feel like this thing since 2012, something happened between 2012 and now, and again in 1999 and again in 2009, that has brought this this information out. And I also got this feeling of like this, do you remember Stargate? All the Stargate movies and just sort of like about, like, and all these ancient alien theories about, these doorways and how they're portals and the vortices around the world. And so on an energy level, I feel like some things will be activated. The planet's going to activate some kind of energy field, electromagnetics, that's going to be brought on by the CERN experiment that will, I'm not saying open a gateway, but I feel like some information will come out regarding gateways, stargates, or vortices, and that sort of thing. I'm not saying we're going to be able to walk through them or anything crazy like that, but I think that they are going to be able to say, hey, like, this thing did happen in the ancient times, and now we're going to explore how how that works. And that's terrifying, actually. And that, that these things did exist. But this will only be in theory. Again, like, this won't be like, hey, like, we've walked through the gateway to the other side of, our parallel world, like in Fringe, but I feel like there's going to be a theory that comes out, okay, because of CERN and because of the physics environment and some sort of collective, project that's going to come out, and the theory is going to be there, just like string theory appeared. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Okay, moving on. Number 7, Egypt will comply with the water erosion Sphinx theory and accept that Egypt is way over 10,000 years old and older and older and older than that, which is going to open the door for further investigations into ancient technology and things like that, of advancements, as many believe it to be. Okay, the number 8 is going to be a massive discovery is going to happen in Turkey. I feel like something biblical proportion is going to come out of there. Okay, number 9, I had a vision of there's going to be an Elon Musk scandal that affects the crypto community, and it's going to be global. Now, I don't want to scare anybody. I don't know if this is like misinformation that comes out to defer people from investing in crypto because a lot of countries are worried about the central banking system and things like that, or if this is going to be an actual thing that happens. I don't know. All I know is that this statement came to my mind that Elon Musk scandal will be in the news about something. I don't know what it is. I just feel like it's something that came to me. I'm just the messenger, okay? Number 9, Antarctica. This is my favorite topic. So I've been following Antarctica for a very, very long time and what they're doing up there, or I should say down there. Anyway, there's going to be a discovery made and it's going to go public. This is something that they're going to find deep under the ice, It could be like a frozen aircraft, UFO, maybe some human remains, some sort of alien-like being, I don't know, or an early hominid, the missing link sort of human, or whatever. But I feel like it's directly related to the theory or the idea of Atlantis. And a lot of people are really pointing to Antarctica as being the focal and main source of where Atlantis began, in theory of if Atlantis exists, right? Now, I personally think it was a global thing, and perhaps this area was where they had their, headquarters kind of thing, their major city area. Just like Egypt had, their areas of pyramids, same for Atlantis. That's where their technology would have been, whatever. So I think something's going to come out of there. So again, some kind of maybe different species, or a way, or some kind of variant of human, or some kind of craft, or perhaps an animal. Something's going to come from Antarctica that proves there was a civilization that lived deep in that area before the freeze. Okay. Exposed or leaked? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to openly expose it, or if it's going to be leaked. Okay, but this will be exposed. So, number 10, increased UFO sightings. There's going to be a massive increased UFO sightings in 2022 going into 2023. But I do feel like, again, this idea, because this year is going to be a little bit sort of back and forth mentally, like, do we trust, do we not trust? And this is going to be something that is either a massive deception about other species, or like, is it hostile? Is it peaceful? Like this, like, it's unclear. I didn't have a clear thing, but the bottom line I have to that I have to get out is that the Space Force. So this space defense thing has already been in play for a while, and I just feel like it's going to be increased globally. Like, countries are going to get involved they never heard of before. Space defense is going to be a massive, massive shift going into the middle of 2022 to 2023. Okay, so that's that. Number 10, there's going to be more breakthrough in AI, obvious. But I feel like this supercomputer thing is going to, the crystals, well, the crystal supercomputer, the crystalline, whatever you want to call it, there's going to be something that comes out about it, kind of, how do I put this? It's going to compute faster than we can understand it, and something like that is going to happen, and it'll be a news thing, but I don't know if it's going to be like threatening to, the global economy or things like that, but I just do feel like there's going to be something to do with the supercomputers and this 5G network, and I mean, it's all related, I feel like. So that came out as well. So I'm not going to talk too much about there's going to be a lot more riots in the US, okay? America's going to be more divided than ever, but I'm leaving that. I'm not going to continue with that conversation. I don't know if I should talk about this or not. Okay, I feel like there's going to be some breaches, more breaches into the crypto community, into bank accounts, and into big companies. And as a result, there's going to be some kind of, and I mean, like Google, Facebook, all these types of big companies, Amazon, whatever. I feel like because of this thing that's going to happen, there's going to be a very big focus on personal data security. So I feel like that is going to be another big focus. A law or some kind of regulation is going to come into play, okay, in this year. I feel like we're going to see something come out that says, like Google and Amazon and all these people have to have regulations, and it's going to be about personal data, something to the effect where we as people should own our own shit. Like, if it's our data, we should own it, and if they want to use it, then they can pay us, like that kind of thing. And I don't know, I'm not saying we're going to get paid for every app we use, I mean, that's ridiculous, but there's going to be some sanction or some kind of tax or something placed on these huge companies, these conglomerates that, pretty much own the global economy in terms of, their position in the corporate world. So that is going to be there. Immigration is going to slow down in the US. They're going to turn people away. The UK is going to turn people away. Canada is going to get involved with regret because there's going to be more and more conflict. France is going to be in conflict, perhaps. He also in the category of earlier with these, political people. They're just fed up with their leaders and they just want them out. And I think that I'm unsure if he'll be removed. I feel like he's too powerful to be removed, but there's going to be something that happens with Macron in France as well. We've already seen it with Boris right now, Boris Johnson. We're seeing it with Biden. We're seeing it with our own Prime Minister, I almost said Mulroney. I'm time traveling right now. With our Prime Minister, Trudeau. So I think that the pound in England is going to gain weight again. So this is finance, okay? I think it's going to do well economically again going into the middle of this year to the end of 2020 into 2023. I think Canada's going to recover really slowly off the backs of residents. So in other words, increased taxes, cost of living goes up again, not down. This inflation is going to keep going. It's going to cause people to leave big cities and move to like smaller areas. And there's going to be an increased at-home work situation because they just can't afford to live in these cities. And hopefully there's going to be more available choice for that in 2022 going into 2023. I also feel like there's going to be a massive amount of union strikes happening this year with respect to wage increases and things of that nature. And then something else popped into my head after I wrote all this down. Going back to the UK pound, I thought, does the UK join China with the tech world? Do they invest in Chinese tech? Like, I can't see it happening, but there's some story there that may come out about the UK and China and technology and how that's going to shift things. And I don't know how that happens because politically I can't see it happening, but it just came to me. So it may not happen, but it was just sort of this one thing that popped into my head. And again, like these timelines can change, guys. So like, I don't know if this is, obviously it's not set in stone. I'm not a psychic, I'm not whatever, but I just intuitively felt these things. And I feel that there's going to be a major shift, in people having enough money to live. We're going to continue to struggle economically and environmentally, and it's going to be more social unrest. It's this global thing. It's not going to go away. However, this is a new beginning in 2022. So like the divine endings and new beginnings, this shift is happening. Like it's already happening. And we're entering into a golden future, guys. Like we're entering into the golden era again. So we have to get through the darkness, the dark times to get into the golden times. So that's where we are right now. We're in sort of this dark period since like 2017, right? So I feel like this is what's going on. And before we get there, so a lot of exposure has to happen and truths have to come out, and there's going to be more than ever turning points and things like that. So the unveiling of truth. This is the year of, again, last year was the unveiling of truth as well, but conflict and resolution, back and forth nonsense. This year is going to be like, this is what it is. This is what we're saying. This is what the truth is, right? And people are going to be like, I don't know if I believe that or not, but then that will be the case. It will be truth, right? There's going to be a spiritual massive shift as well towards a balanced belief system. I think people are going to be leaving behind what doesn't work for them anymore. We see that happening now with the pandemic and the churches and things like that not being able to congregate. So I think there's going to be a big breakthrough with the sense of self and social movements for a better life of mankind. I think the Catholic Church is going to suffer a little over the next few years, starting with 2022. They're going to have a new philosophy. They're going to have to shift their philosophy to get people to stay in the church, okay? And all this is just pointing to internal peace, guys. So, like, we're no longer serving what doesn't keep us from evolving spiritually. People are just going to be like, I'm not going to do this anymore if it doesn't help me move forward in life into a better and positive direction, right? And I also feel it has a lot to do with this Atlantis discovery. Like, I just feel like there's going to be some kind of proof or something that the society, that it's actually going to be put to bed. Like, yes, they were peoples and they existed and it's no longer a theory, it's a fact. That kind of shift, okay? I know it sounds wonky, guys, but that's what I got. And it's a key that's going to give to, it's a key, it's going to be a key that unlocks things for humanity, okay, and shifts our connection of mind, body, and soul. People are going to be more meditating, more healthy lifestyles, things that people are going to be making changes already. You know, there's also in biology, I feel like there's going to be a cellular breakthrough in cellular healing, and really concentrating on self-healing practice. I feel like there's going to be physics that helps usher in a cellular community growth and a rejuvenation of cellular healing and mental shift, and how we and the science community, medicine and ancient practices and all that will be kind of brought together and supported by each other, and that breakthrough will happen. So I feel like, yeah, the cellular biology, I kept writing down cellular biology and physics of the atom, as we are light energy beings, okay, that there's going to be rejuvenation. Something is going to come out about the ancient ways of healing ourselves from the inside out, because our bodies are designed to heal. We are designed to, when we cut ourselves, our skin heals. Like, that's, we are meant to live a healthy life, and because of environmental factors, we haven't been able to do that for like hundreds of years. So with that being said, I feel like there's only one more thing. Okay, so 2022 music scene's going to shift again, guys. So there's going to be something interesting coming in this year with music, a new sound never heard before, something interesting that's going to have very high vibrations, some healing cellular damage and release of trapped traumas kind of music with, you know, internal like singing bowl stuff, or like Tibetan, you know, sounds or chakras or whatever. But there's a big shift in from the dark sense of music into a light sense of music. In other words, uplifting music that's going to bring light into your body and fill you up with joy. So yeah, that's one thing coming in 2022, which is really cool. There's going to be a merge of spiritual music and like culture and pop stuff, right? Which is kind of neat. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me. I know I've taken a lot of your time, but that's some of the things that came to me for 2022 and into 2023. I know it's kind of wonky, but that's what came out. So with that being said, thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for my live feeds, which I'm going to be doing today very shortly. Take care.